tonight, once again, we want to invite you to call into the program, 225-9476. We're on the record here with Brian Lewis, president of the TTOC. Brian, what are we doing wrong? The elite athletes there, most sports, I shouldn't say most sports, quite a significant number of the main sports, football, cricket, track and field, basketball, netball, those are our main sports. Some of those things are not covered by the TTOC, of course. Netball is now Olympic sport. But when you look,
it is a Commonwealth sport.
It is, right.
So it is part of
yes,
it.
It is.
They are affiliated with the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee.
Right, you're right. When we look at, you have the development in place, you have the elite athletes, so there is a continuity for most of the career there. What we don't have fans. All of these sporting bodies, they did something wrong, Brian. What is it that, in your opinion, that we're doing wrong? Where are we missing this thing?
The first thing is that they're not doing anything wrong. It is the reality, and it is where sport is in the evolution of the society of Trinidad and Tobago.
So the monkey ain't turned to Homo sapiens yet?
No,
That's what you're saying?
No, the reality is that what we're wrestling with is the fact that sport has moved from being a pastime and to now being a critical component in the society and the development of the society. How do we make that transition? And it's like a number of other things in this society, whether it is education, whether it's health, whether it's crime. If you look at the infrastructure to drive and improve and take all of those things to a different level, it's not there. So that it is unrealistic to expect that sport is going to operate in a vacuum or over here, and the education system, health, the national security system is going to be over here. They are all interconnected and interrelated. What we have to do is like just decide as a society how we're going to fix the thing.
Do you have a plan for that? Do you have a roadmap?
No, I can't take on the plan. What I do know is that there are a couple of things that we need to do from the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee perspective, and which we are doing. One, building capacity. We run at least 6 sport administration courses annually, and this year we added an advanced sport management course.
Right.
We have an annual Olympic youth camp every year where we interact with young people between the ages of 12 and 17 to instill in them a number of things. We part of that Olympic camp, they get exposed to sport psychology, the values of sport, conflict resolution, exercise physiology, the works. We have an Olympic day every year where it's a sport for all, just to get people active.
Yeah.
You know, be active, be healthy. So that there are a number of things we're doing. Then there are a number of coaching courses,
right,
technical coaching courses that we offer through a collaboration between Olympic Solidarity and the International Federation in terms of these courses. I know that for 2013, there was one in hockey, and there was one in tennis, and there's the opportunity for more. So in terms of facilitating, as the word I used before, the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee, within its available resources, is making that contribution. I know that the Ministry of Sport is doing their part, sport companies doing their part, UTT, the University of Trinidad and Tobago is doing their part, UE is doing their part, COSAT is doing their part. And when I say doing their part, in terms of the capacity building aspect of it, there are now more opportunities for anybody who wants to do sports management or coaching certification than there was before.
Right. Now, as a recipient of course that I did with the TTOC, and this was in 2002, in a former life almost. Slovenia Olympic Committee.
It was a marketing,
they sent their marketing guy. They came down here. They did I think it was 3 days down at the Hazley Cofford Stadium. It was a wonderful thing. How many people adapted what they learned there and went forward with those messages, with those tools to get this thing changing. Where's the funding? 40 affiliates, how many of them have a professional secretariat? How many have a full-time secretariat?
Yeah, but how many of them should have a professional secretariat?
I think they all should.
How can you have how are you going to sustain
Maybe not
how are you going to
pigeon
sustain a professional secretariat?
with money that you
No,
get.
but if you're a sport that have 20 people playing this sport,
Right.
you want a professional
Like who?
secretariat? I'm not going to call names.
But I'm saying that
I am not going to call the names.
But there are some big ones that don't, that should have.
Like,
basketball.
But basketball have paid people involved in it.
Who? Brian. Football.
No, wait.
The other day we had
Wait. Listen.
basket. Go ahead. Let me hear what you're saying. Let me hear what you're saying.
You're asking me a question.
I'm asking you a question.
I'm saying that basketball have, again, I don't know, but I know basketball have Obadiah.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Right.
Well, it's not a question of what you feel about the person. We are talking about this, let's depersonalize it. We're
Right.
talking about have a structure. So you said the big one, you call basketball. Basketball has a structure.
A paid technical director, no
Right.
paid general secretary.
But we're talking about paid. They may have basketball, and the basketball stakeholders may have had a strategic planning session, and they have, at that point in time or at this point in time, believe that that's what they need. It is up to the basketball stakeholders now to go back to the drawing board and relook it. But remember, we are talking about who have in place a
Right.
professional structure, i.e. again, remember what I was saying earlier on, professionalism is also a state of mind and an attitude, not only about being paid. So you have football, may have cricket, track and field, swimming, basketball. So I'm saying that cycling, they may have some sort of paid person, may not have. The point that those are the ones that people consider the bigger. What I'm saying and the point I'm making is that it's not a one-size-fits-all.
Yeah, you see, the question now becomes another one where these NSOs open themselves up for pot shots because really and truly the only way.
Why you say that?
Because the volunteers now, they're saying, boy, I work so hard in this thing, I sweat blood for this sport. The only thing I could get is a little trip, so. And now people watching and saying, but that's all you're doing, they're taking trips.
Well, I am sure there may be people who that's their intention and motive, but 80% of the people I know involved in the sport doing it for pure love and passion.
But the minute somebody else get tripped, taught feelings.
I don't know about that.
You don't see that,
no,
man? I see that a lot.
Yeah, but understand what I'm saying?
Right.
80% of the people don't tote feelings because they don't want anything from it other than making a contribution, seeing their sport develop, seeing young people get involved in their sport and make a positive difference. So there may be 20% of the people, yes, that's too much, but at the end of the day, sport is no different from any other human endeavor. So you can't expect perfection. What you can expect is the striving for perfection, but you can't expect perfection. They are human beings are weak. What I'm saying, and I'm simply trying to get across, is that there are sports who will remain purely social, amateur, and recreational. Those sports should be given the opportunity, and those stakeholders involved in those sports should be given the opportunity to determine how they want their sport to run. And then there are other sports that, and it's so all over the world, they are not, it's not every country that has the whole menu of sports that are elite sports. You know, countries actually very strategic and they will pick the sports that they can achieve.
So perhaps a wide base of success has been working against us.
Well, what is the wide base of success?
We have quite I think last year Olympics proved that we had the widest representation in most
but that is not,
sports.
Again, that is not a wide base. The majority of those athletes came from one sport, track and field.
But we had sport participation in other sports.
Cycling.
Swimming, sailing, shooting.
Boxing.
Right.
And shooting. That's 6 sports.
Brian, it have countries that is only send
No,
one
but see,
sport
jump
and
down.
it
What
twice
I'm-
our size.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that that's 6 sports out of 40. So what I'm saying is that maybe we should be looking at those sports alone.
That's not. Let me take a break and come right back. We'll be right back on the record with Brian. Don't go nowhere, huh? It's getting hot here, boy. Sweating.